Hello, friends. Hi. Welcome to the workshop conducted by Brilliant Brushes. So, today we will be learning how to do acrylic painting. And the topic for today, or the scenery that we'll be doing today, will be how to paint a forest. An easy do it your own forest within an hour. So, let's go forward and see what are the necessary things that you will need to do this painting. First, you would need a 20 by 20 canvas, a small one, as you can see in the screen over here. So I'm just taking this off. Then the most important thing, you'd need any basic acrylic color set. A 12 tube set would be fine. So any basic one. A palette of your choice. I had mentioned to you before that I make my own palette. So what I do is I take a cardboard from the drawing book, a thick MDF cardboard, and put a file sheet on, put a plastic sheet on. And I use this as my palette, so you can actually place your colors in an orderly way. You can use any palette of your choice. It necessarily doesn't have to be this. Okay, so keep it at your right hand side. So that's one main thing that you do, keep it at your right hand side. In this video, you'll be just seeing my canvas. I'll be showing you the colors that I put. So yeah. A few brushes. So the brushes that I've used here or will be using here in this painting would be these. As you can see, flat brushes, quite thick ones and a thin one, and round brushes, these pointed ones. Yeah, these are the few brushes that I'm using here. This is for the background. The thicker ones are obviously for the background. The thinner ones are for detailing. So hopefully you have brushes in this range or somewhere near to this, thick ones, thin ones, and liners, very thin ones. Okay, now coming towards the end of the things that you need, any cloth, any dirty cloth, so that you can use it for wiping off excess paint. And 2 glasses of water, one for mixing your painting and one for washing off the paint from your brushes. So 2 glasses of water is necessary so that your painting doesn't get muddy in the end. Place those two towards your right. So your palette, your glasses, your cloth, everything to the right side of your painting. Now I'll be showing you the different hues or colors that I'll be using here, and I'll be applying it on my palette. So you can do this along with me step by step. Well, the first paint that I go for, I don't have the small white one, so it's the titanium white or the white paint in your tube set. Take that. I've been using white a lot, so mine's actually getting over here. Yeah, sorry, just. Alright, now the next color close to white that I'll be using will be, as you can see, yellow ochre. Yellow ochre, place it somewhere close to white. Yeah, that's how you put it. A little bit of each would be enough, more than enough. Then I'd be going to crimson red. So that's how I push my paint through. Okay, a little of each. I take white more. It brings out cool effects, so I use white more. And then I move on to, okay, I forgot to give it brown. That's fine. Next I use ultramarine blue. Alright. Place it quite a bit far from your red. You don't want them to mix much. I mean, it's good if you have equal spacing. You can give in a bit more space between your colors than I have given, because for beginners or starters, you don't want your paints to get muddy. Then I use grass green, or this is called olive green. And then Viridian. You can take, I think in a 12 tube set, there would be 2 greens, so both the greens we use. Then we move on to burnt umber brown to give in the darker shades of a painting. I usually don't give pure black. I always give it in a tone of dark brown and black. And again, I use a lot of black, so I've had the bigger tube here, but you can take the black in your painting tube set. And I hope this doesn't pop out much. Yeah, okay, that's fine. Okay, so these are the colors. But to make the green a bit more lighter, you'll also need lemon yellow. Okay, so since I don't have much space, see, that's why I told you to give in space. I'm putting the paint there. Alright, so you have all the necessary colors needed for this painting here. So you have made your palette right now. Put in the colors with different intensities from light to dark. I forgot to give in the lime yellow, so I went ahead and gave a lime yellow too. So now let's start the painting. Yay! First things first, find out the center of your, somewhere there. Okay, that's the center of your canvas. Now from the center, just draw a spline like that diagonally towards this end. It's just to mark the road. There's a road coming in here, and then there are trees. So from the center, just a big line like that down, just to give you a reference. All right, and from the center again a V somewhere there. This would be the area where you can see a bit of your sky. The rest of it will be just crowded with trees. Okay, once you finish up that, just 2 simple lines. Take the thickest brush you have. In my case, I take flat brushes to do backgrounds, and the quite thicker one for this sized canvas is this. I hope you can see it well, even without my hand. Yeah, all right. Now from the palette, take the blue and a bit of white, dab it like how I do, a bit of white and blue. So it is that light I need my sky to be. All right, a bit of blue and a lot of white would give you that shade. All right, now let me just keep my palette aside. And that V that you have marked, start painting the blue there. Yeah, just like that. Taking a little bit of that color, going forward again. If your color finishes, mix it again. Make the same hue. Hue means color. If you do not know, hue means color. For those of you who know, it's fine. So I'm going ahead, painting, making it lighter as I go. So I'm adding more of white. Okay. In this video, I won't be showing how to paint the edges. You can go ahead, paint the edges. Edges means the other side. I'll just be painting the front face that you can see through the camera. All right. So that's step one. Go ahead, wash your brushes. Wash your brush, and you can actually use the same brush. Make sure that you don't have water. So that's where you need to use your cloth. Wipe off excess water from your brush. No water, because more water would mean your acrylic painting would break out and have cracks. So make sure that you don't have water. See, look at that. Making sure that there's no water. I go ahead and take not the olive green, the other green, Viridian, and a bit of white from there. I touch there, and again Viridian. So that's the color I get. I hope you can see it well. Yeah. Now that color I'm going to apply on the right side. You can become a bit darker to the edges. It's totally fine if your color mixes with a little of blue. It's okay. All right. Viridian white, Viridian white. So that's the mixing that we are giving here. But as you come towards the blue, make sure that you don't overlap much towards it. Do the same thing, almost the same thing. That is, take the Viridian green, a little bit of white, again Viridian green. All right. Make sure you get that color itself. Don't go too dark right now, because this is just the background stage. And I'm shading the other end too. Okay, so we have painted both the sides. Now we go, so almost half of the painting is done. Now the rest half, that is the bottom half, we take olive green. We take olive green. Make sure that it doesn't mix towards your other painting, which is why I told you to leave enough gaps that you want between each paint. I'm taking olive green and a bit of lemon yellow to make it light. See that color? A lighter version of olive. So take a little bit of olive green and a little bit of yellow, mix it. Now, you don't want the road to be green, so beside that line towards your right, paint green. Alright, so right now we have painted the half of our canvas, and the next half what I did was I took olive green and yellow and I mixed it both. And then the shade you get is a bit lighter tone of olive green. I painted the side beside that line, that is the road. You want to make the road thin as it goes further and big or wide as it comes near to you. So I'm painting the other side also with green. As this is just the background stage, I'm not much worried about the white gaps that it has. It's good if you can cover them. It's really good if you can cover all the white gaps. Alright. Now the road, at this stage I'll just give brown. Take brown directly from your palette and just paint it there. Yeah. Take a bit more of brown. Alright. So right now we have done with our initial base stage. Wait for it to dry, let it dry. Now you've finished your base layer. The second thing that you would want to do is actually find out definite areas where your trees come, where your sky is, given the dark hues. So taking a bit of blue from here, going to that middle area and then giving it a darker tone there. Just brushing through up. Alright, now going to my palette again, taking a bit of black, mixing it with brown. And by this time I quite know where my trees should be. I just given a line with a small line with the brush that I have, so that's the road. Yeah, I want my trees to be here. I want some kind of a bush to come in here, so another small tree. So the trees that are in the front give thick dark line, and that's a thin line. The bush, I'm not marking it now. And there's another big tree here in your front. See, that's just one stroke of a line. If you can't do that fast, go very slow. Yeah, see? From bottom to up. So then when you lift your brush, it's thinner on the upper end. You can also give few thin lines behind just to show more trees. Alright. So at this stage you've marked your trees. Now we'll be going for the darker shades first. So take your olive green. Yeah. And I'll just show you one tree. Your dark green, and then you're just, yeah, see? Hold your paintbrush in this manner and just dip it in. Thicker on your bottom edges. You can even mix a bit of Viridian green too. And then thinner as you go up. So that's the tree effect. Yeah? You can do almost the same effect for all the trees around here. I'm also putting in a bit of black towards the bottom. Alright, a bit of black. I'm just holding the brush in a slanting direction. The round brush that you have, taking the olive green, doing the same. And when you come towards the top, control your pressure, that is, make it thin towards the top and thick at the bottom. And this is the tree that's prominent or projecting towards you, so you want to give in a thicker stroke. Yeah, like that. And then thin. So is the other edge too. Thicker stroke. You can do this with a flat brush too, but it will take rather a lot of time. So I'm just going ahead with round brush. Flat brush would definitely give you more effect. So the tree on the side, covering up that too. All right. At this stage, while you give in each shades, make sure you don't want any white around. If you feel like giving in more trees, I feel something is blank here, so I'm just giving a thicker line. And pushing over a tree. It's okay to have a dark base as you go up. Make sure you lighten the tone. If you can't light it much, a bit of yellow in your olive green would help. Okay, all right. Now, wash your brush, dip it in cloth. We're going to give the bushes, the grasses and all that. We have a red bush coming round, so you take the red and a bit of clay yellow, not too much. Go ahead mixing. You'll get a color something like orange. Go slowly towards your side. Just dab it like that with your brush. If it goes beyond the road line, it's totally fine. You can even take over the tree's end, it's okay. Just make it look like, see, get these small dots with your brush to give it a real effect. Make it darker, lighter, totally up to you. I'm also giving the same kind of effect in here. The red bushes. And as it goes further up, making it thin, that's all I'm doing, making it thin. So beside this you have thin red bushes. That is what it marks your road. You see, it's a bit of, so the red bushes are thick over here, and then it comes to thin lines when it goes to that middle point. Hope you got it. Yeah? Alright. Once you finish with the red bushes, let it dry. In the meantime, we'll be pulling off our grass over there. So take the olive green, a bit of yellow again. Okay, olive green and yellow. And then just with your tip, okay? I'm not slanting it, with my tip. I'm just giving in a shade for the grass with my tip, with the tip of the brush. You can use different variations, shade, shadow for those who know more. The rest of you can just join me and just give few shades. That would be more than enough. I'm going a bit further to make it seem like there's another tree there farther at the end. Alright. Okay. At this stage we notice that our road is not much dark. It's a dense forest, so take in a little bit of black with your brush and just push the black from this end, from your right end, from bottom to up. Just go further. Take a little bit of water, very little bit of water, and smudge it. We don't want too much water in acrylic painting, but a little water would do just fine. Smudging it, making the road dark. Going in and adding one more tree at the end. Okay, alright. It is one more line, small line. Take olive green and just push in few leaves. Just to complete that look. As this is also a painting that I'm making right now, so I'm not referring any image. Alright. Now let this dry. Let the whole layer dry. Okay, once it's dry, we make sure to bring out the dark first and then we go and make it light. So the trees need to be a bit more darker. Since it's an evening sky, I'm taking black with my green, and that's the color I get. Going to the bottom of the trees just to create a effect of, see, I'm going to the, not the center, from the center to the right side. To the right side of every tree and to the bottom. So the light is coming somewhere from the center. Let the right side be dark. Right side of every tree could be dark, and the road, the ends of the road, but darker should be near you as it goes away from you, light, so darkest towards you. Now when you come to the left side of your painting, make sure that your tree on the left side is dark. So that's the shadow effect that artists do. The bushes here and there you can make it dark. Don't make the whole thing dark. Here and there. Black, olive green, go ahead. Black, olive green, black, olive green. Alright. So few leaves darker on the other end. You can even make few of your grass layers dark towards the end. Now, if you notice that your tree trunks are not that dark, take a bit of brown and black and then reline them, which means just go ahead and line it again. If your paints have become a bit hard, you can always add a little bit of water, but not too much, little bit of water, and then just, yeah. Make sure your nearer ones, like these trees, and near to you, they should be the darkest. And those behind you or farther away from you can be light. Now I'm in the meantime just seeing a few gaps in my painting, so I'm filling them with green. So if you're seeing a few gaps, fill them with green, different shades of green at this time. Hopefully you've understood the shadow area by now. Alright. At this stage, you're going in and adding white. So to add white, you need a pointed brush. A brush like this would do. Take white from your palette. So when you do trees, you need white and yellow. Alright, white and yellow. This color is dry beneath, otherwise use a plain surface and then mix. So you get that shade. And then slowly, again holding your brush in your slanting position and then just giving a few lines like that. And when you come towards the tip, go near to the branch. Farther away from branch, go near to the branch. So your light falls from this side, This is your darker area. So every tree towards the left, you just here and there, okay? Here and there, just to give an effect. You can even take olive green and then that's olive green and yellow and white. So I'm taking olive green to just, enhance that effect. You can go a bit towards your right, but make sure that you don't give too much of white in that area. Now when you come towards the left side of your painting, your right side is white. This is your main tree, so you can go ahead and add a bit more of your lighter edge. So it's closer to your eye. So here and there. So the color I'm taking is yellow, olive green, and a bit of white. at the tips. Alright. So right now you can see the trees projecting a bit, not fully over. You even want the bushes to look good, so take again pure white. Bushes that are close towards you, start adding a few dots of white. See, like that, just like that. And as you go further away, let it be a thin line. Thicker ones would. So if it mixes with your painting, that is the red beneath, it's totally fine. It would just give more effect. Again, take your white, do the same with in here. So when the grass or the bush is nearer towards you, you can give thick white lines like that. But when it goes further away, make sure that you give dots, just dots. I'm adding a bit more red because here I think I have gone a bit too much with white. So whenever you feel if you've gone too much with white, go and add a bit more of red. So now you feel the bush, see there's a shadow already in the road, it's black and then that's the road. Now we have to focus on the grass. So for the grass, I'll again go back to my clay yellow or yellow ochre. Take a bit of olive green and mix both of them. And obviously the grass needs thin tall lines. So over here, I just make lines. If it's not prominent, go and take a bit of white. A little bit of white to your painting, and then those lines become prominent. See, like that. If you can give thin lines, it would be good. Even if you can't, it's fine. This is the place where you need to know where your trees are, so you don't give such lines on top of your trees, just your grass. If your lines are not prominent, go ahead with white. Taking yellow directly and just giving yellow too, to bring a different effect. So I'm going ahead taking a bit of yellow ochre, putting into my palette. Yellow, white, these are the colors you would need towards the end of your painting. Going ahead, adding a bit of yellow, as you can see, yellow strokes or lines. So wherever the grass is seen, you can do that. I'm going ahead with a bit of yellow, white and olive green to make the trees even more prominent. So there I give strokes, as you can see. strokes again. Don't add too much. You just need to know the fine balance. It comes with practice. It's totally okay if your painting doesn't turn out to be this way. You're still learning. So it's totally fine. At this stage, if you want a bit more of black, all that can be added. So now I'm adding black instead of I'm adding black in between where I've given white. But you just need to know a perfect balance where to, because some places I've just given too much of white. So that can just be alright. Now I'm going back to the road again, taking a bit of black and olive green. Alright, I'm taking green here, dipping it in water, a little bit of water. Yeah, going ahead, taking a bit of green. Any brown areas, I'm just covering it up with green, black. Okay, again taking a bit of water in my brush, a little bit of water. So once we put in the olive green, I'm just going ahead adding a lot more white wherever it's needed. See, the more you add white, the more it projects. So I'm adding white. I'm also adding white to the road over here and small white lines. Bit of white again here and there for the trees. If you feel the white is a bit too much prominent, go take olives and then cover it up. Taking a bit of yellow. This is the final touch stage, the final stage, like to bring about the shadow effects, light effects. Alright. Yeah, so that's it. We have made a little beautiful blue, green and red forest scene here. You can sign at the end once the painting is dry. So yeah, that's pretty much it on how to paint a forest scene with acrylics in just an hour. Thank you everyone for watching this workshop video. Do visit my Instagram page, Brilliant Brushes by Sunu Sam, to see more of my works. I also have a page in Facebook, and do subscribe to my YouTube channel to have more tutorials to learn more of it. I even do a lot of easy techniques using sponge, knife and all that. So watch more of my videos to learn more. Thank you. See you again.